anything that purports to bring services to the people is something that must be looked at positively.
Yes.
Yes.
One of our guests has arrived, but yes, Maliza, before to introduce.
Maliza. City Muga na Mbuvi. I must come with noise. Finish.
Serikali imeingia. Karibu sana Gabriel Muthuma.
Asanteni sana.
Yes.
City, how are you, my brother?
Fine, thank you, Gabriel. It's nice to see you, man.
Nice seeing you.
You're looking well. As noisy as ever.
It has to be. We speak for government.
Actually, one of our viewers has said that they're waiting for this great discussion. So you have found us before we now get to what we wanted to talk about with you.
Yes.
We're just having a conversation about the Star. There's this author Wycliffe Muga who has said devolution has failed the test of accountability.
Devolution has failed the test of accountability.
Yes. And CT was actually agreeing with the author, saying that indeed there are some things that are not working, especially when it comes to accountability. And we were actually talking about governors and the positions that they're in, the amount of monies they've been given. Some things are not adding up.
Most of these people actually think they should not be held accountable. They behave as though the decisions they make are in and of themselves complete. And once they made the decision, how dare you question it?
Yeah.
Now, the moment somebody has that attitude, they don't say it, but you see it in the attitude. The way they respond to query,
yeah,
not criticism, query. The way they respond tells you this person does not like this idea that somebody is asking him, where did you take this money? Simple question.
Yes.
And he is the duty bearer. So, when that is the attitude, you'll ask, but surely just one or two. Okay, they have a council of governors where they meet. You tell me, since we created and had this council, tell me what it is beyond asking to get their money on time and to be paid. Tell me what this council has done to better the lives of the people they represent.
They actually refuse to be audited.
Let me give you an example of what I mean.
Yeah.
When it comes to healthcare, there is a level of hospital we refer to as level 6. Okay? You don't have to have a level 6 hospital in every county. Not necessary. Not really.
Okay.
We had Kenyatta National Hospital as that only level for the longest time, and it served the purpose. But our population is greater. So regionally, you need to have such hospitals. Have you heard of a discussion where the governors have sat and said, we're looking at our regions, and instead of one county setting up this hospital, we want to pool our resources so that this hospital actually becomes a proper level 6 hospital where you conduct research, where you do all these things, but regionally it is a referral hospital for this region. Have you heard such a discussion?
Of course not, and I don't think they would want to share their money, especially when...
Have you heard them coming up with a scheme where they say, folks, what we're going to do is, given that each county has a unique economic advantage, these are the business plans that we want to have intra-county trade to do ABCD. Have you heard them had such discussions?
A few governors are in talks with each other, but not as a council.
They have a council where they all meet. This is my point.
Yes.
There's always the issue with the own source revenue. When there is trade, you get revenue. When there is a lot of trade, the likelihood of raising more revenue is even higher. So I am simply saying, they meet, they talk, then they have these meetings where they have all over the county, okay, this fanfare.
Yeah.
What comes out of that fanfare that you can say shows us the direction that the governors are taking their people to? When? If somebody knows it, they should tell us, because me, I don't see it.
Maybe I'll ask Gabriel. Gabriel, were you at the Devolution conference?
In a way.
Okay.
and allow me to say that wisdom is actually oozing out of CT.
Yeah.
And when Devolution came, I mean, it was a brilliant idea. Very well thought out. A brilliant idea. CT has actually alluded to something which is quite factual. With the emergence of governors wanting to do what they want when they get the money, they feel as though they should not report to anyone. There has been that element of, the bigger than life attitude. However, for fear of appearing a little bit,
don't fear when it's serikali.
I don't know. No, we are in the national government, and the national government, and then there's the county government.
Okay.
But again, for fear of not losing it out, let's not paint all of them in one brush. The reason why I'm saying this is because we have some governors who have actually really tried. When you look at somebody like Gladys Wanga, when you look at somebody like Kangata in Moranga, you can see what they've laid down. You can see the element of accountability and responsibility. But there are counties, honestly, like CT is saying,
yes,
we need to relook. We need to relook. I told somebody earlier on this year that even though we work for government, I don't want Kenya taxes to be misused by the national government or by the county governments. And we have to be very clear about that.
Yeah.
And when it comes to responsibility, when it comes to accountability, it must apply across board. What we seem to be doing, Buvi and CT, you'll agree with me, is that we train our sites a lot when it comes to financial impropriety, when it comes to what we call financial responsibility. We train our sites to the national government. And then we fail to really audit the county governments. And if you listen to so many people, they say, hapa kwetu, we don't even know how much you collect on source revenue. And by the way, CT, the reason why devolution was key, apart from the money coming from the national government, is also to bring about the economic sense of counties so that they can also be able to tell Kenya and the world that, listen, county XYZ, this is what we get on our own source revenue. And probably every financial year, this is the deficit that we require for the national government to come in and assist. This is what we have in terms of our planning for this county. This is what we have in terms of the kind of development that we want to pursue. But sometimes really, like City is saying, pesa ikikuja, everybody goes quiet until the next financial year.
Yeah.
So I think it is good we have this conversation. In particular, again, to what City has said, the regional economic blocks, or so they call it. I don't see the reason why the regions, in terms of counties, they should not have deep conversations. For instance, like what he said in matters healthcare and hospitals. When it comes to heavy infrastructure, like airports, I mean, you don't need a county to have an international airport. The next county has an international airport. Moranga, they want an international. They need to come and say, guys, you have this infrastructure. Allow us to ride on it while we create something else
that you will also ride on.
Not have that you'll ride on. That is how we build the economies of scale. And so it is a conversation that we need to continue having. In particular, when it comes to the issue of financial responsibility. Because many people, because they talk to us, they fear, the counties are really not audited well, because when the governors who they say control, even though the conversation now we are having is that the MCAs may be able to get now their development budget, which is a good thing, because all of them were looking at the governors. And here the governors, would twist them. Most of them would be sent on a trip here and there, and when they come, they don't question the governor. In other words, the governor was all powerful.
Yeah.
So I think as we move along, it's good also to check on the balances.
Okay.
So it's a good conversation, but for devolution to continue, to be strengthened, to continue remaining as a power block, a high degree of responsibility, transparency is definitely expected. Failure to which devolution may be something of the past.
Something else we were also arguing about, we were talking about NGCDF. There's all this conversation, fight, whatever you want to call it, around NGCDF. Yes. In your opinion, should it be taken away from the MPs?
No.
Somewhere else?
No. I've always, guys, I'm a big pusher of the CDF, and the reason I tell people I came from the Vitongoji Dunis of Madare. Movie, I can see what it's done, to be honest. But again, it goes back to who is spending it, how are they utilizing it? Do they understand the sophisticates of their locale? Yeah, it has done wonders. Look at what somebody like Netanyahu has been able to do with what. Look at somebody like, again, I can say it without fear of contradiction, somebody like Babu Owino. When you go to Pakistan, people say, "Nyewe, imetusaidia with what he's getting." So again, it is in whose hands are these finances in? You get. So from where I'm seated, I think it is something that needs to continue. It has really assisted the people who know the troubles and the issues facing their people. They have actually been able to utilize it to assist those that they represent.
I wish Arnold was here because he was of a different opinion. I hope he's still coming. And his opinion was, let MPs focus on their main role, which is legislation, representation, oversight, and even of them being financial.
But to be honest, I've not seen an MP who claims because of NCDF they've been unable to legislate or oversight. I'm yet to see. No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Exactly, it doesn't.
In fact, it should empower them.
That narrative is false.
Yes, it is.
Well, personally, I'm not an MP. I wouldn't say it's false, but he made some very strong points, and that's why I was saying I really hope he comes here
and we will ask him that
clarifies. Yes.
Look at it this way. I took you back to why that fund was created in the first place.
Right.
And Gabriel is right. It was the empowerment factor. Because people expect the MP to do certain things. You know, okay, let's go to first principle. You know, we're all villagers.
Yes, we are.
It's true.
All of us. And we think like villagers. This veneer that we have when we come to town is a veneer. But to understand our villageness is look at how we vote. Every once in a while we vote in people who actually have a track record of doing something, but by and large we vote in entertainers. Okay? People who know how to talk, people who make us happy when they speak, and people who know how to give the impression that they're going to do something good. We like those people. But the people who are actually hardcore technocrats who don't take nonsense, those people are not going, they will not get voted.
It's true.
They will not get voted.
And that's why I'm saying, by the way, CTS said we are all villagers. I really know people who the easiest person they can find is the MC or the MP. You know, they are easy. They are an easy, find. Most of the weekends when they come out of Bunge, they are in Mashinani, and they are people who interact really with the people down there. Governors saa zingine anakuwa huku juu. Senators saa zingine.
Nikila time. Mimi sijaipata na Sakaja man.
Sakaja yuko by the way. Anatupigia sherehe mzuri Nairobi. We have to give him that.
Okay.
And again, if you understand how to utilize resources, I can guarantee you can change the lives of the people that you represent. But just like we have in many other spheres, there are people who know how to be accountable, and there are those who pesa imekuja wacha tufanya nayo mambo ile ieleweke. You will go to constituencies and people will tell you, man, we can't wait to send this guy home. But you can go to other constituencies and said, we want this one to remain. Why? Because they have seen what they are able to do with the resources that they have been, or the resources that have been assigned to them.
That has been the bane of the existence of the governors, in my opinion. The billions they have received, you ask the simple question. Certain things have happened that had never happened before in those regions. But is this the sum total of what you received from the time of inception? The answer is no. So where did the money go to? Even if they say that 60% of the money is used for paying people, the other 40?
Yeah.
60 we
and honestly, we used to do back in the days, it will tell you, before we occupy the space we occupy, we were very good in governance, and we really used to follow things.
Yeah.
And city, I can tell you, when it comes to counties, it's like the good, the accountable, the people who know, the people who listen, they will rise to the top. It will just happen, like, I don't want to say miraculously, but it will happen. You will be able to see those who are able to live up to the true meaning of understanding devolution, those who are able to know that my county needs ABC, and with these resources, I am for sure inclined to make a change in this great county. Those people will rise to the top. And those that will not be, you'll play politics, but at the end of it, when you turn and look back, they'll ask, what did I do? And people who voted for you, they'll also turn back and ask, what did we do to ourselves? So I honestly believe we keep following devolution, and you will see the people who are able to run counties will surely emerge. And they have, as we are seeing it. There are so many governors you can point to right now, and you say, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
Those are the people who should be fronted as possible presidential candidates, but they will not get elected.
Which people?
These people who've shown that they can run counties. They are the ones who should
governors
be
now.
Yes. Let's start with Kivutha. Let's just mention names that we met. Let's start with Kivutha Kibwana. Kivutha Kibwana even made an attempt at it.
He did a good job, actually.
He did a fantastic job. What people like Kangata are doing is following in those footsteps, and they're also doing a fantastic job.
Totally.
Okay?
Totally.
And believe me, you see it.
Yes.
When somebody is a listening governor, you hardly ever hear them making pronouncements. You hardly even ever hear them talking. Hardly, literally, hardly. But those who work with them will tell you this person attends meetings, and most times they listen.
Correct.
And they take notes. When they speak, they're asking a question or seeking clarification. And that's the end of that story. What am I saying? I am saying there are people who understand what they need to do and they do it, but they are not many. The vast majority need to be kept in check so that the abilities they have can actually benefit those who elected them. If they're not kept in check, they go astray. Okay? And the problem with the sort of powers that governors have, believe me, they wake up when they realize they have not been elected. That's when they realize that something. Funny.
But this city, sometime back, I think it was last year.
Yes.
And we landed in Kisumu, and we were talking to a few guys. I think I was a friend of mine, and we went someplace to have a meal. And we see the way people just go to talk politics. And guys were like, this city is very clean now. And you look at it, you're like, wow. The markets, you hear they say, Prof did this market, did that market, that road. If you went to these streets, mambo ilikuwa. And that's the same thing City is saying. You will see people who are able to do things. You will be able to understand, even from a feeling around. Politics will die down. Because at the end of the day, somebody wants to be associated with progress. And so it was really, a welcome move when people who have lived to see the different sides of what Kisumu was are now telling you, by the way, we are not there, but we are heading in the right direction. It never used to be like this. But thanks to our governor today, we can point out at things that we can say for sure we are seeing the fruits of devolution. Same thing. I've been to places like Kirinyaga, and people will tell you, this governor, she has done something. Governor Anne Waiguru, she has done something. The hospital, when you look at it, when you look at the Kagio market, when you look at, some of the things that have happened in Kirinyaga, even in terms of speaking on behalf of rice farmers, things have really, really taken, to the positive turn. So yes, again, we all agree that as time go by, it's my prayer that people will understand what devolution is all about. And it's really not about enriching themselves. It's not about remaining, or ghosting the population once in a while. No, it's living up to the true meaning of what you promised them. And I think that's what makes
that is what matters, actually. Yes. Let's talk about the government now.
Harambee Stars
wamefanya kazi mzuri.
CT, I was telling somebody last week, the whole banter, how will we? You see, wins, no, let me not even call it wins. Success does not wake up, CT. Success is prepared. Yeah? Winning becoming successful, you just don't wake up and say you want to be successful. No, you must prepare for it. Look at the likes of Eliud Kipchoge. Look at the likes of Faith Kipyegon. Harambee Stars did not just wake up to winning. There was something that preceded the wins. 2016 CT, we lost the bid for Chan. Why?
Why?
A, we did not have the infrastructure ready. Yet we had the money. People went around.
Yes.
We had people paying 88 million, 90 million to plant grass. Yeah.
People,
yeah.
People were paid to plant grass.
Yes. The government of that day spent some crazy amounts of money, but we still could not, have the infrastructure ready. And Chan was taken away. When the president came, he bid for it in full realization of what he needed to do, and he set to work. All right? Remember, again, I repeat, success does not wake up. Success is prepared. What we are seeing are the fruits of credible, deliberate actions. People may say, sijui imefanya. No, we had a chance twice. Chance was taken away from us. Today, we have it. Just the other day, FIFA confirmed that the turf or the grass for Nyayo and Kasarani, now raises to the standard of world class. And we can hold a World Cup here today. And these are, I think, the realizations of when the president says Kenya tutabadilisha. This is actually what it means.
Do we know how much the grass cost? The previous one was 80 million.
No. The one, no. It was in places.
Okay.
Some of those viwanjas that were set aside. Where there was one other I saw, somebody said, it wasn't even planting grass, it was clearing the bush. Clearing bushes. Yeah. In fact, that report is there. 88 million was spent clearing the bushes somewhere. I think it's some out of the county of Nairobi.
Okay.
And I know the attempts that were done of creating those Chan stadiums. You remember how it became. Yeah, it became a huge ball of corruption. But the truth of the matter is, we did not get it then. We were time-barred, and it went. We have it this time. Credible, deliberate actions. We've been able to rise up to the occasion. We've been able to prepare a team. And today, that team, every point of success can be documented.
People are saying that the reason why we've been very successful in the last couple, in all the games actually we've played, is the motivation factor.
The motivation factor comes in, but it's a small piece of that puzzle.
Victor Wanyama, actually, former international, he said that at the end of the day, it's the money that people are waiting for. Si ati hatujui ball, but akunanga psych to ingia pale because that is a ball. Then when you go back home, you don't have food, nini. But now when the boys, let me call them that, when they were promised the amounts of monies they've been promised, so far the president now owes them what, 210 million?
Yeah. But 2.5 million kwa mfuko. But you see,
they have it already.
Hiyo isha ingia.
As we speak today, our players each have got 5 million.
No, the 2.5.
Yes,
hiyo nafikiri isha ingia kwa mfuko. You see, one thing obviously I trust, our boys will be very happy. That is one. But again, the motivation, the money, the monetary motivation, albeit so welcome, still, that is the inspiration. The perspiration, which is to me 90% of what you see on the field, is what matters. Look at how that federation was some years back. Look at it today. Paints two different pictures. There are people who have looked at the talent in this country and realized that indeed talent can pay. That is why it was a slogan, Talanta, Pesa. It pays. You cannot tell me the president just woke up to say, wait a minute, we have reviewed the price upwards, that any person who breaks the world record, this is the amount they get. It was revised upwards. Yeah? Faith Kipyegon just the other day made 5 million after she broke the world record. A gold medal revised upwards.
The 5
from
million
what it
you're
was.
talking about is from the Kenyan government.
Yes.
Not what she receives out there.
No.
Okay.
This is the prize money. Yeah, that is given. Commonwealth, when you win a gold medal, it was revised upwards. So what does that tell you? There is a deliberate attempt to emphasize that talent in this country pays and should pay. So the question we should be asking is, why haven't we, or why didn't we do this
Let me ask
many
you
years ago?
Yeah, something, Gabriel. And this is a question that I have also seen online. I just need clarification. This money, where is it coming from? Is it government money or is it coming from the president's pocket?
Yeah, no. That, you're telling me the president would take his personal money when he talks about the government setting aside prize money. This is something that has been done over the years. This is what people are not getting. I was telling somebody again yesterday, we are having this conversation.
Yeah.
The wins, for instance, when somebody gets a gold medal.
Yes.
Harambee Stars, if we are to be honest, they've been given incentives. When they were going to AFCON, there were incentives that were given by the government. Right? All the president has done is upscale those incentives.
So this money is actually government money.
Yes, it is.
There.
It is actually there.
Yes.
It
Yes,
is
it.
part of the incentives.
We have something called a sports fund.
Yes.
All the money from gambling
goes
and
to the sports
associated
fund.
gambling, whether it's online, offline, nani pesa mingi.
Yes.
A certain percentage as you play or win is taken.
correct.
Goes that fund. So the money is actually available. They are not taking it from the exchequer as you are a consolidated fund. There is a sports fund. Now the sports fund, among the main things supposed, but it's all sports, whether it's
Yes.
motorsports, it is supposed to enhance sports. So if encouraging people requires giving them some of the money that is collected in the sports fund,
Yes.
so and by the way, a colossal amount of money is collected in that fund.
For sure. So anyone who's ever gambled in this country has actually paid Harambee Stars.
Into sports.
Yes.
Into sports.
Yes.
That's sports fund.
Yeah.
By the way, it's at source, direct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you've ever been to a casino, if you're always online, placing bets against this team or that
A
team,
percentage of that goes to sports, yes.
nice.
And
Good stuff.
it is even indicated how much it is, and
Correct.
and you're even told what it is that is being deducted.
Yeah.
So that you don't know.
It's a good thing because at the end of the day, now we have that out of the way. A lot of people are saying, hey, Gava, not see Gava like in Prezo, 210 just like that.
No. You know,
Yeah.
the one thing I like about the president is that when he says or when he promises, he actually says where that money is coming from. It's just that people don't like to listen and they play too much politics on it. Same thing when he was talking about the church, building the church at State House. He mentioned where that amount was coming from, and it was so funny that we reduced rather a good debate. We changed it into weird and bad politics. When something has existed over the years and you didn't see a problem with it, when it looked so ugly and bad, that somebody wants to change it, bring development, that people can be happy when they are going to that place of worship. And all we see is that the president is removing his own money to build something. We really chastise that in any way. So, City has explained, actually, and I've just told you, the incentives are there. They've always been there. What the president has done is that he realized that no, we were heading the wrong direction. We need to incentivize our men and women in sports, not football alone. I've just told you, once you get a gold medal, the incentive went so much high. We are talking millions, and one gold medal or silver, same thing, and bronze. This is to tell you that we have just refocused, re-energized ourselves into helping Kenyans understand that talent can really be commercialized and it can pay.
Remember, when you talk about budget items,
Yes.
we budget for that fund also. And in 2024, I remember we increased the exchequer budget for the sports fund by something like 6.2 billion. So there is money. Let me just repeat so that you understand.
There is money.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
Yeah. And I'm happy there is money, and I hope now every other sports person out there will be motivated, knowing very well that pesa itawafikia.
Of course.
Naona pia Soko aliwa promise, I hope he pays. If
watu wengi pia waliwa promise. Ni watu wengi waliwa promise. But again, let's not lose this point. The motivation, the monetary incentive is good. And we have seen how far it can go. But CT, let's not lose the plot of not celebrating the amount of work that these young men have put, the pride that they've brought. I've told you, success does not wake up. Success is built. These young men and women in our sport fraternity, the likes of Kipi Agon, the likes of, they have shown us one thing, that indeed talent can pay.
It does. You see, the thing that has often bedeviled the sports in this country, now this is my opinion, is even when there are funds, everything about the expenditure and things to do with it is opaque. See?
Yes.
And you get the impression that the officials are far, far more important
Correct.
than the sportsmen and women. For instance, people talk about Kenya's rugby sevens, the men's.
Yes.
We have a women's rugby sevens that do very well.
Well, yes.
You do not hear us talking about them.
Why?
We should. They do well because out there, they're Kenyans.
Of course.
This is the point.
It's
course. Not this is a Kenyan team.
Yeah.
And they're spoken of that way. If the same attention that those who manage athletics, and usually they're agents and people who are not necessarily within Kenya, if that same attention to detail was utilized in managing this, we would be a serious sports powerhouse.
Correct.
In literally every sport that you can think of.
And CT, by the way, I'm glad you've said that. I'm glad you've said that because he talked about sometimes the officials, they feel they are the ones who should matter. When I say credible, deliberate actions, the president actually, I remember when he was pushing the issue of Talanta, paying, becoming incentivized, becoming commercial viable. He ensured the sportsman or the sportswoman is in the middle. This is the person we are taking care of, right? Not the guys who are cheering Uko Inje. The sports person.
Yes.
Is taken care of. He's in the middle. And once you put that person in the middle, everything else, whether it's athletics,
yes,
whether it's football, whether it's rugby, whether it's volleyball, the minute players feel well and better incentivized, respected, well taken care of, I can guarantee you the talent we have in this country is major. Let us exploit as one of the ways of making money. And I can tell you, here we are going to get the Ronaldos of this world. In Kenya, we are going to get the Neymars of this world. Look at our young boys now, what they are doing. There are so many kids now. I hear they are now looking into sports as a way of life.
Yeah.
Parents are now starting to put in money.
Yeah.
To, I want my child in the golfing fraternity. So many parents are now looking to invest, in talent for their children. And that's a good thing when you wake up and realize, hey, wait a minute. My son must not only be probably what they think he can be a lawyer, a doctor, what have you. But also there's another avenue here that can be quite as satisfying as the other one. And in any case, he may actually end up making more money
Actually, I'm happy because I think there's one player, I'll confirm the name later. He's been picked up by a Belgian team. Yeah. Which is
I saw something like that. I've not seen. Yeah, I saw something like that in passing. I've not really gone deep to confirm. No. By the way, by the end of Chan, once we get in the finals and win Chan, I can guarantee you, so many of these boys,
yes,
will have placement in very
major
big
leagues.
teams.
Yeah.
In very big teams.
When you look at and you see the proliferation of West African players, it is not by chance.
Yes,
exactly.
It's deliberate.
Yes,
There are sports academies. It is. They start from a very young age, and the talents are recognized, and they keep building them.
yes.
They play locally and some of them, by the time they're even in their adolescence,
Yes.
they are already picked up by some of these teams.
Correct.
To now join the academy.
Yes.
For their youth teams.
Yes.
So by the time you're actually hearing of them, that person has been finely tuned.
And they all have a story, by the way, CT. When I've really, I was a soccer player back in the day.
Oh.
I really did. Oh, yes.
Nice.
We are the people who, I was, I think, the third group in MISA, the late Bob Munro. We are among those years. Yeah. And we did. I played football. I really did. And I can tell you, when you hear about people like Eto'o, when you read about people like Didier Drogba, when you all
You
these
people like George Weah.
the stories that they tell, you hear of academies. Yeah, probably this is the time, Kenya, we are waking up to soccer academies who don't have you. But there are parts of this continent where football talent, and the growth of football was seen many years ago. And people learned how to build on it. Yes, we may have arrived late in the game. Not to say that we would not have done it.
Yeah.
It's these wrangles, where you see an entire federation. All people do is fight at the detriment of the player. Now that's why it's making sense when the president said the player will be put in the middle, and that is what will matter.
Yeah.
So nyinyi na hizi vita zenyu ndogo ndogo kama endeni mpigeni huko, but what matters is that player. And by the way, if that is the mindset we take into the future, Mbuvi, we have everything to celebrate, because in the next 5 years, these kids, these young boys, will be watching them on TV and saying, "You remember Chan? Yeah. Now he's playing for Man U or for Liverpool or Arsenal or Chelsea."
Gabriel, let's talk about something else that is ailing this country properly.
Please.
This story of ghost schools receiving capitations in the billions. What's not happening?
What's not happening?
What is happening?
What's not happening is that this is a problem that has been there for yonky years, and it's not to pass the buck. I can tell you, some time back, when the president wanted to know where each and every coin goes, he actually has talked about it numerously. The amount of time I've watched it, I can now count 7 times.
Yeah.
In public, the president has mentioned. It has actually been a pain that you had at some point, CT, collaboration, between teachers, members of the school boards, to its capitation. And I think you sit down and you wonder, but anyway, everything is heading into the new system. And the beauty about it is
when you say new system, just to be sure.
Yes, the new So what in Jaguar House. Now what will happen is every person will be fed in that system, the children. Yeah, every coin, you'll know where it goes. Why was it done?
I thought we had something called NEMIS.
No. Let me tell you. Actually what we'll be discussing if we go that route, we'll be discussing NHIF.
Okay.
Something akin to NHIF. You saw how the number of hospitals that were moved out of SHA.
We'll go to SHA. Yeah.
Because of
the parametrics.
To come. Yeah.
Let's tumaliza education.
Many, even in education now.
Yes.
That is the direction we are heading. CT. You see, when it comes to governance, Mbuvi, and I want you to get this very clearly.
Right.
The issue is not that people will not look, because they'll always constantly try to bypass something that's working so that they can make money. It's always been the con of man. Yeah, and this is the reason why we don't promise perfection. Yeah, we promise efficiency. There are times when the new system, when it came in, same people wanted to mess it up. But now what has happened is it goes biometric. You will know that that child of yours or that child who's getting this capitation is in this school, is in this class, this is what they are doing, this is what they... even an online register. Because that has been the chip that's missing on the block.
Okay.
Now, you may ask the question, why was it not done back then? Some of these things, we are learning them as we go along. Same thing I told you about when Shah started. People regrouped very quickly, CT, and they started poking holes. How can we get? I mean, there was so much money that was getting stolen. Pilfering of high top dollars by people who just sit back and say, how can we manipulate the system? It is the same way you're talking in Shah, is the same way that was happening in education. At some point, the president was very cross, and I can tell you here without fear of contradiction, with some of the officials, asking, are you telling me? And he did it in public.
Yeah.
We cannot say we do not know how many children we have in our schools. He said it. Not once, not twice, not three times.
Gabi,
and when he said that, when he
Yes.
realized there was a problem, he moved so quickly to fix it. That problem is soon going to be fixed, that every coin, every shilling,
Gabriel,
where it goes, it will be known.
there's someone at the ministry
Yes.
who probably knew that school ABCD, those schools do not exist. Has anyone been arrested in that regard? Is anyone facing any charges in any court in this country?
On that one, to be honest, I do not know. Has anyone been arrested? Is anybody facing charges? No, I don't know. I have not, unless I follow it up.
Because someone
But
said this money should go to this school, yet that school did not exist. Someone sent money to this other school, and this other school.
Actually,
There are even schools, you are told, CT, that did not even exist.
Actually, Mbuvi, let's take a step back.
Yeah.
Let's take a step back.
Okay.
You have schools which exist. They are known. Within these schools, there are ghost students.
Correct.
Okay? For you to have a school in this country, it needs to be registered. There's a whole process. By the time you're put in that system to be able to receive that money,
Yes.
you've gone through that process.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. Let's start at the beginning. The people who register schools,
Okay.
okay? Because you need to be registered. So you've registered the school, somebody goes to actually inspect. You don't just get registered.
Yep.
So somebody went to inspect.
And confirm that this is the school.
Yes, the number of classes they have, the number of teachers, because it is school, it is facilities, it is students, it is teachers, and so forth and so forth. So for you to have a school which, in all honesty, doesn't exist, and within it students who don't exist, and within it everything else that is documented in the system which doesn't exist, how many people do you think collude to make this thing possible?
Correct.
Because we have even people on the ground, the county education officers, like nobody went and confirmed that this school that apparently we have been told has 1,000 students, tumepata wanafunzi 700.
Bovi, let me tell you, and CT, I can say again, when I'm seated with you two great gentlemen,
Yeah.
this government is using technology to assist all those issues that have been happening. And that's why I can tell you, in the next few years, these will be things that we'll be talking about as if they were in the Stone Age era. You must leverage on technology. And that is why. I can give you an example, even though we are talking about education.
Yeah.
When you hear people outside here talking about, e-citizen, pesa imepotea e-citizen. First of all, there's nothing like that. No single dime has been lost out of that system. What has happened is the brokers that were chewing into the legacy system have got nowhere to put their fingers on. when you have onboarded nearly 20,000 citizen-facing services, back from 350, when you're collecting a paltry maybe 80, 70 million a day, to what now is going to Treasury Direct, which is nearly 1 billion shillings, it tells you that you've understood where the problem was and you have fixed that problem, or you're in the process of fixing that problem. Today, when you pay on a citizen, City, do you know that money goes directly through the KCB bank into Treasury? In that, the ministry that put in that money cannot just retrieve it anyhowly. There is a process of accountability.
Yeah, and then there's that 50 bob.
Yeah.
We'll or even the story of 50
convenience fee.
Yes, I mean it's a system, you have to pay for it. Hatutaki vitu za bure. But it's not that. It's really way low. In fact, I was with the DG of eCitizen, and we were looking at the facts, and the facts are good. And he was showing me what they collect daily. City, do you know they have a whiteboard? You can see everything that's coming in.
You know, the problem isn't the collection, Gabriel.
Yeah? No. You know, the problem, at least we've solved an issue. As somebody said, they used to lose 2 billion a day. We know where it was getting lost, and we fixed that problem.
You see,
the leveraging on technology, City, is what is going to remove us from this conundrum. Whether we are looking at it on capitation or what have you.
I do not doubt that, Gabriel.
Yeah? So at the very least, Buvi and Mr. Wise, I am glad that we are doing something to fix that malady. And we are not doing it because of politics. No, we are doing it because that is what we promised, and that is the best way to govern. When we've reached a point,
yes,
and this is why I want us, all of us to reach CT, and I know we'll be happy when we get there, is when me and you know that every bit of tax or taxes that we pay is never misused. I think that to every self-respecting leader and every Kenyan of goodwill, that is what we want to see happen. Is it happening now? Yes. Are we 100% to where we can say pilferage is gone? Not yet. But as the system takes charge, as good systems are implemented, as we get people who can be accountable to the Kenyan population, to the people that we represent, the tide will change. We've always talked about fixing this nation, making it successful. And if that is going to be our mantle, my two dear brothers, we go back to what I told you. Success does not wake up.
Gabriel, we're going to take a short break, get into the news. When we do return, of course, we shall still finish up on that issue of education and what is happening and whether heads will roll, because in this country, unfortunately, people are not punished for their sins. So we'll talk about that and much more. Hopefully, Arnold amefika, ama kama hajafika, tutajua kama tutampigia simu tujue amefika wapi. Meanwhile, here's the news with Winnie Maganga.
Radio generation, the sound is fine. Pump it up, turn it high all the time. Let the music move you, let's sway. Radio G's got your jam all day.
Radio Generation, the home of urban soul. This is the Radio Generation News.
Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga. The government has put emergency preparedness measures in place as the Kenya Meteorological Department predicted heavy rainfall and potential flooding across the country. Public Service, Human Capital Development and Special Programs Cabinet Secretary Geoffrey Ruku said the government is fully mobilized to respond quickly to any emergencies that may arise. Speaking during a chat service in Igembe, North Meru County on 17th of August 2025, Ruku stated that the ministry is working closely with disaster agencies, including the National Drought Management Authority, Kenya Red Cross, National Disaster Management Unit, and the National Youth Service.
The county commissioners, the deputy county commissioners na viongozi wote wale wako katika maeneo yale ambao tunajua inafrika mara kwa mara katika taifa letu la Kenya, wakuwe macho, ikifanyika wayatoe habari kwa serikali. Kama serikali tuko tayari, ili kusije kuwa na Mkenya yote ambaye atapoteza maisha yake kufuatia mafuriko na pia kupoteza moyo yake kufuatia mafuriko.
Kikuyu elders in the country have called for fair compensation for protest victims. The elders, while praising the president's move to establish a framework to compensate the protest victims, said there is a need for government to dialogue with the young people. They're also urging the youth to shun divisive politics and leaders who seek to manipulate them for their own selfish gains. Here's Nderi Karanja from the council.
Kiomba serikali iangalie sana hii mambo isirudiwe, na kama kuna vijana wetu wale ambao walikuwa wameoa, wameacha watoto, ili wasaidiwe. Hawa watoto wakue, wasikuje kulaumu serikali ati waseme baba yetu alikuwa kwa sababu ya kitu fulani, lakini wakiwasaidia hiyo mambo itasaulika na watakuwa na wataona kama kuna kitu ambayo imepotea. Upande wa hiyo vita ya maneno, tungeomba watu tu wakiongea, hata kama mtu amekosa yule mwingine, wakaribiane na waongee, hiyo kitu itakuja raini. Kwa hivyo tungeomba serikali wao wanakaa chini, kama kuna makosa iko, hiyo makosa irekebishwe na iangaliwe.
National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has reaffirmed his support for President William Ruto's 2027 re-election bid. Wetangula told Rift Valley residents that backing the head of state is not a debate but a responsibility. Speaking during a chat service in Kapsabet on Sunday, August 17th, 2025, Wetangula likened supporting the president in the region to preaching to the converted.
Lazima tuungane, tupendane, tutembee pamoja, ndio Wakenya wengine waone faida ya kufanya kazi na sisi. Kweli Rongo, tukishikana vizuri, tuungane, tufanye kazi na wenzetu. William Ruto akimaliza tamu yake ya pili, sisi tuko hapo. Na katika uongozi, ukitaka kuongoza, lazima wewe pia ukubali kuongozwa. Tusaidiane na wengine, ili tukitaka wao pia watusaidie.
The World Health Organization says over 600 million people in Africa remain in need of treatment for neglected tropical diseases despite major progress in reducing their spread. WHO says Africa carries 39% of the global burden of neglected tropical diseases, warning that urgent action and stronger collaboration are needed to meet the 2030 elimination goals. In 2020, all WHO member states endorsed the roadmap for neglected tropical diseases 2021-2030, which set a global target of freeing 100 countries from at least one NTD by 2030. With less than 5 years remaining, 57 countries have successfully eliminated at least one disease, including Burundi and Senegal. Arsenal sneaked away with 1-0 result over Manchester United at Old Trafford, courtesy of Altay Bayondor's error in the first half. After running close to the title the last few seasons, the Gunners get their campaign off the right foot. Meanwhile, Chelsea suffered a Club World Cup hangover as they were lucky to escape a 0-0 draw against Crystal Palace to open their Premier League campaign on Sunday. Palace were denied an early opener when Eberechi's Aze's free kick was ruled out by a VAR review for Mark Guehi, obstructing the Chelsea wall. New Chelsea signing Esteval came closest to snatching a winner, but the newly crowned world champions were blunt in the attack after well-organized Palace defense. And that's the truth on Radio Generation. Good morning. I'm Winnie Maganga.
The The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Radio Generation. Radio Generation assumes no responsibility or liability for the interviewee's views. This is Radio Generation. In the beginning, there was morning radio.
I've never seen anything like this.
But now there is Radio Generation's The People's Breakfast. Curious and bold, getting facts from the shadows.
That's what it is.
Now, as the city wakes and secrets stir, a bright new voice shines. The People's Breakfast. Your morning, your voice, your journey.
You got it locked.
Good morning.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Welcome to the home of hard truths and bold insights. Radio Generation.
Welcome back to Radio Generation. My name is Mangala Mbuvi. It is now 7 minutes past 8 o'clock. In studio is CT Muga, and of course we do have a Deputy Government Spokesperson, that is Gabriel Muthuma. Gabriel, once again, welcome to the station.
Thank
and
you.
welcome to the show. A few questions here on what is this called? On YouTube. Yeah. There's Mr. Marion. Oh, it's a miss, I hope. Marion Mbogwa. And this is what Marion is asking. Does the incentive kitty, that is now in terms of sports, does the incentive kitty spread across the different sports? That's rugby, swimming, volleyball, cricket, etc. Ama it's just for a few of those ones? And then she goes on to ask, who determines the amount to be given as incentives? Is it the executive or parliament or what? Like, is there a specific law that says footballers will receive 5M, like now the way they're receiving it?
No. I really like the last time I was there, and we were talking about the funding of gold medals, the people who break the record. I think it's somewhat agreed, and the one for football, I also would think it's, the president has a purview of giving that incentive.
Okay.
So I really don't think it's something that needs to go somewhere, and I doubt it needs to go that direction. But the way it has been scaled upwards, it's not only in football but in athletics, in volleyball, whether you look at it, it's in rugby. The way they've done it this time round, and just by listening to or hearing from players, they really like the new incentive, and that's why people are asking, hey, by the way, hii kitu ilikuwa wapi before? Key or something worth to note is that the incentives have always been there. Way back when, they've always been there. Only that this time the president realized or pushed that the person in the center is a sports person. Whether it's a sportsman or a sportswoman, those are the person in the middle. So all of us, we bring our energies together to promote that particular person. Okay. That is what has changed the landscape. Before that question came, we were talking about the two systems.
Yes, we're talking about
NEMIS and CHEMIS.
Yes.
And the reason why CHEMIS came in, going by what the CS was talking about and the people within the education circles, was they needed the data. They needed to refine the data to have accurate data that NEMIS was unable to do. I don't want to use the name unable to do. CT would know. But really, we needed to get serious about funding, because when you don't have accurate data, you will definitely have occasion delays when it comes to competition, because you don't know which data to follow. And so CHEMIS now brings in this way of handling the factual data. We're operating on factual data. We were talking about over the past several years, 64 billion, of competition that was not disbursed. That because of various things, data not being correct, or, people meddling around with the system. But now with this new one, we hope it will sort out this mess. And that's why it's geared to bringing factuality within the realm of education. I mean, education is what receives our highest budget. So we need to be very serious even with the system that we deploy. And I think CHEMIS coming in will be able to sort out that.
We've seen TSC is going to employ about 76,000 teachers, 24,000 interns. So that's like we're looking at like at 100K. And that's a good thing.
It's not only even employment of teachers. I mean, we, just like the issue of the passport city when we were talking with you in studio, And several months later, I was proven right I don't want to say as always, but you see, education is the way I look at it, is an entire ecosystem that has to be right. You know, when we are talking about bringing in teachers, we have to talk about the classrooms. That's why the president is really burning the midnight oil to ensure that they go hand in hand. Yes, we talked about free education. We talked about 100% transition. We want everybody to be educated, or we educate as much students and pupils as possible. Then, as we are talking about the teachers and the burgeoning the population who are now checking into our class and into our schools, we also need to build the infrastructure as well. And it's not easy, but I am glad and I am happy that we are succeeding in doing it.
You know, Gabriel, where the problem arises is this, when a statement is made, it tends to be a general statement.
Correct.
That statement is devoid of timelines. It is devoid of start, made to finish. It's devoid of that.
Yeah.
What then happens is the citizenry fill in the blanks themselves.
Yeah.
The things that the government does, there is nothing, there is no project that will take a day. There is no project that will take a week, even a month, even a year.
Yes.
What prevents the government, and since you are a spokesperson, what prevents your office from telling people, look, this is what we want to do, and this is the journey? What prevents? I don't expect the president to tell us the journey. He'll make the statement. Why is it that your office doesn't come and give this and said, this is what was said?
City, I'm here.
Yes.
Give me my flowers. I'm here at least. I'm telling you, we are discussing about the journey. I'm here to explain to you about the journey.
I am aware.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm mentioning this is because in the absence of the government coming to actually state it, we will fill in the blanks.
100%.
We will create our own narrative, and that narrative will become dominant, and then you will have a problem as a government, because you will speak and we will not believe you, because we've created our own narrative.
100%. You know, the old adage, which is very true, CT, I really disagree with you. They say, in the absence of coming in front of the microphone, people believe the next person who picks it. So in the absence of correct and true data, people are bound to believe what they hear out there, and you cannot downplay the level of disinformation and misinformation happening in our sphere today. So we are always put on check, to come and give out these facts. You know, CT, it's very funny that you said it, because a few weeks ago, I was listening to this deranged individual talking about, and I'm not using that word cautiously, talking about how roads in certain parts of Kenya have stopped. And then I realized, wait a minute, when my president came into office, what met him was 175 billion shillings of unpaid bills on roads. 175 billion. 580 roads were undone, meaning contractors had left the site. This is when he came into office. That's what hit him. Contractors have left. This person knew this information. He sat in all cabinet meetings. He knew what the problem was. Today, CT, all the contractors are back. The president got 65 billion and spread it on those contractors to come back to site, promising by the end of September, October, around there, 80% of those pending bills will be paid. Today, contractors are back. The local economies that these roads were opening to, because I don't know whether you know Mbuvi, we did a tour of Mombasa, looking at the Mombasa
highway,
Malindi, Mombasa, all the way to, and when roads are being built, they create small economies within their regions. They're
actually not small.
Actually, they are not. We call them small because, there are many. But really, if you look at it, the people working, they'll sleep somewhere, they'll eat somewhere, they will go somewhere to entertain themselves.
They will actually spend the money.
They will spend the money. So this domino effect had gone missing. Today, all contractors are back on site with new scheduling. Yes, following the old one and saying, how can we speed up this process? That is the conversation we are having. Yet somebody can take themselves, go to a foreign land, and rubber-rouse people that roads are not getting done. And in one particular region, I counted so many roads in our region. Matter of fact, we are now talking about the dwelling of I don't know which part of Nairobi you live, of Kiambu Road into Rironi, those sides. That has been an eyesore. The traffic jam that comes out of that place, finally. The people of Kiambu are waking to this realization.
In fact, why don't you mention something that has actually been done?
Yeah.
The dual carriage in Mombasa Malindi.
Yes.
See, I'm talking about something I didn't know. I honestly didn't know about it. But then I saw it. And I asked. And I was told the part from Kilifi has reached Kikambala.
Yes. Yes.
So now this other one from Mombasa is moving to meet it. Now, Gabriel, this has been a subject of discussion for the time I first met you.
Yes.
What is it that prevents your office? You know, I'm not talking about government. You are the spokesperson.
Yes.
From actually having scheduled meetings or scheduled reviews where you tell the public the things that are being done. The example I have is Mutahi Kagwe's COVID messages.
Yes.
Actually, when this office was first created, during Dr. Alfred Mutua's time, he used to do some kind of weekly
pressers.
Pressers where I think it was like on a Thursday where he'd come and tell us.
Yeah, he used to. You know, things have changed, and drastically so. You see, back then, the advent of social media, the internet had not really penetrated. Today, we've had to do our best to take all the spaces. The mainstream, the social media, the user-generated content. Somebody passes information which you think is true, you have to come and counter it. I've just told you that a few weeks ago we came from showcasing that road, that Malindi, all the way to Kambala. We went, and again, moved from that side, went to the Diani side, all the way to Kilifi, towards the border. Showcasing, but City, you have a point. We need to continue regurgitating these good stories, because the more we stop, the disinformation, the malinformation, the misinformation doesn't stop. It continues. So we must, and we are doing our best. We are trying to work hard to be at the point. we are doing our possible best, City.
You have probably started.
We've only started.
You're not doing your best. Is this? Huh?
We will correct, City. I take what you say very.
The narrative that has held sway and still does is that this government has done nothing, which cannot possibly be true.
True,
but it is the narrative.
Yeah.
And then they get granular. Shah is not working. And you have someone. Actually, you need to be clear.
Yes.
Which part of it is not working? Because there are three.
Yes.
And what exactly had that person who you say, because somebody must have gone and they were told, what treatment had they gone for? Where had they gone to?
Yes.
Which level of hospital had they gone to? What happened? And you find there are things that could have been done. When you start something new, whether you like it or not, you're piloting.
Of course.
You're gathering data. You have this idea, but you're trying to see how best it can work. Maybe you're anchoring it on something that you had done earlier, like the universal health pilots that were in 4 counties. But again, the dominant narrative is not from the people who are actually actioning this and putting it into play. It is not. The dominant narrative are from people who are saying continuously
correct
that this thing isn't working. And most people will not question, they will believe.
Yes.
That's narrative one. Then there is a narrative of individuals who clearly do not like the president, not the presidency,
Yes.
the president.
Yes.
And their beef is with the president.
Correct.
And the beef equals this president has done again nothing.
Yes.
Okay? And anything he does, even if it is pointed out, something negative will be found to explain that. For instance, our boys are winning.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Somebody will find the most negative thing to say about the win. And you say, but surely we've seen them playing. Oh, they're not playing very well. So then clearly you don't understand soccer. There have been games where the dominant team loses in the last minute. And they have outplayed the other team completely throughout.
I know.
It is soccer.
Yes.
What I'm trying to say, Gabriel, is this.
City, you're right, by the way.
To have an honest conversation about some of these things, there is the need to even say that this is what we said we would do and we haven't done it. We are hoping to start it on this date and to do it this way. Hoping. Why am I saying this? There are things which may seem difficult to say, and people will kick a proper ruckus when you say it. But it's a reference point because it won't change because it's the truth.
Right.
But when you say things that you cannot then support going forward because you know in reality, case in point, when this government came in, we were told endlessly how they found no money.
Yeah.
You know, when you tell a villager that you have no money, you know, we take it literally.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes.
It is not true of government because government collects money on a daily basis.
Correct.
What this government inherited was a situation where the debts alone and the repayment guaranteed they were going to have a very small margin within which to function.
Correct.
Did they explain this? No.
No, I think we did. We did. No,
Wait.
Yeah.
How did you explain it?
No. Don't take the words. Don't take the narrative of the other guy who used to speak much.
How do you? How did you? How did you explain it?
You know, there's some guy who messed up that narrative totally.
Oh my goodness!
No, it's true. There's a guy who messed it up totally. What
This is the truth. Makes me afraid of working for Gava.
No. The truth of the matter was, it's not afraid of working for government. The truth of the matter was, we indeed found a very gory, we were actually in a very gory monetary space, and several things had to happen, and nights were there when people would sit down and really crack their heads on what to do and how to proceed. Matter of fact, some within those circles believed we were heading the way some of our neighbors went. We were going to default. But the president could not hear none of that. That is why he brought together a team of brilliant minds to look at the solutions that needed to be gotten out of the situation that we were in. And guess what, Movie? Guess what, CT? We are here today because hard decisions were made. It's not easy, CT, when you collect 100 shillings and out of that 100, 70, before you even ask for a bottle of water, 70 is going for debt repayment. It wasn't easy. You have teachers waiting to be paid. You have doctors waiting to be paid. You have infrastructure that you have to complete. You have salaries that need to be paid. You are talking about feeding the country. People are wearing sufurias on their head shouting unga. You have children out there saying they can't travel because passports are not being generated. Some are looking for IDs. And at the same time, you are being told by your debtors they need their money. The Eurobond was maturing. Many other debts were maturing around that period. We are here today short of a miracle because of a strengthened belief system of what the president was able to intervene and do. Key among the things we talked about, I hope all of you saw what Galana Kulalo is doing now. Yet it's a project many people had said would never work. It was tried before. Look at what it's doing today. The president has not applied magic. No. It's not sorcery, no. It is deliberate actions. It is perseverance. It's a push knowing that this can be done. Look at Shah. Another good case. CT, you're right. There was a lot of disinformation when it started. Even some people who are supporting this government were like, will this. 24 million people have already registered.
You know, that narrative of Shah hasn't gone away, by the way.
Exactly. A true testament of perseverance.
But
all right,
Gabriel,
move
registration
over there.
doesn't necessarily mean that people believe
it's
in
not
the
about
system.
it's where you
When you register, you pay.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't necessarily mean that maybe I register because Radio Generation told me they won't employ me without.
No, that's not it. That
doesn't necessarily mean that I was for it.
That's not it. Today, by the way, CT, if you look at our NSSF, our savings, in 1 year, we've saved more than we've saved since independence. It was a culture that we had accepted that we did not know how to save. NHIF just being a case study, and the president kept talking about it. It is something actually, CT, I read somewhere, I read a paper of 2011. An economist, I can't remember who, had talked about the I hope I can get that.
What was he talking about?
He was talking about how unbalanced our contributions were. 2011. The president was among the people who are pushing the now narrative that people have come to accept, and now people are saying, hey, by the way, it wasn't commensurate. It is no way. CT being in the University of Nairobi and me selling oranges, we are paying the same, we are making same contributions to our healthcare system. It can never be. And then we expect there to be provisions of what you call extensionalism, that we will continue having a good system when we are contributing nothing, when this system is only taking care of 7 million people rather than the entire population. And when we sit down here, CT, I still have people outside there saying we should roll back and go to NHIF.
Yes, do you know why they're saying?
And I'm wondering, it's not that they don't have information, really. It's wanting to swim with what they feel somebody should come. You know, there's this behavior.
Gabriel, there are those who actually don't have the information, and the information they have is what you're saying. You see, when something is stated once, that's all that has happened. There is a process by which the brain actually listens, absorbs, and then retains
That is true.
Information.
That's true.
You see, again, let me go back to the dominant narrative. There is a very ugly side of government that unfortunately muddies the waters completely. It is called the primitive and vulgar consumption culture, where it is manifested by a display of wealth.
Yes.
When a country is in the doldrums, as we were in,
Yes.
and the news is that new vehicles were bought.
Yes.
Nobody asks if they were needed, but they were bought, and they were many, and they are high end.
Yeah.
Nobody is going to believe I'm a villager. Remember, that's what I started doing. I'm a villager.
Yeah.
That there is no money.
Yes.
Because if there is no money,
Yeah.
then how are these things happening?
No, it's true though.
No, that was very. In fact, CT, if you may if you may had my conversation some years back, was we needed first of all to treat what was committed back then. That was committed, in the budget, as in committed. And when the president said we will not purchase new motor vehicles, that was something that was meant, and he meant it, and it never happened. but you have to look at the commitment that was done prior they came in. And so you have to fulfill that commitment. And the questions I used to have back then were answered. In a way, there are times, City, again, I agree with you, when the meagerness of the understanding and the knowledge that you have, no pun intended of you not knowing, because you for sure do not know that particular environment, and you see a new car going in and say, but see, but you did not know when that commitment was done or made. However, when it comes too late, you are told, hey, by the way, do you know that company employs 98% of the people working there are Kenyans? Would you cancel such a commitment? Would you be able to pay all the fines? You know, gari labda imeshatengenezwa. It was committed by another administration, and as we know, governments exist in perpetuity. City, what to do? Do you cancel and say, you people mtapoteza magari? Probably they had ordered 50 vehicles, which is going to push people in their salaries and what have you, maintenance and what have you, is also part of that bargain. So there are things that I think City we came into contact with, the new knowledge that we came into contact with, and we said, okay, yes, even though we are going to say this year, financial year, we are not going to buy anything, we shall honor those that are committed. Same thing, Gabriel, we are honoring the debt.
Gabriel, new cars, even if you bought 100, if you bought 200, it's pittance.
Yes.
What it costs against the larger picture of the revenue of the country.
Yes.
What I'm referring to here are the optics.
Yes. That's
the battle that was lost.
Yes.
The optics.
Yes.
And those who took that, saw the optics, took it and made it into a narrative. Now, when I'm looking at my situation through the lenses of my suffering and my poverty, I am going to look for somebody to blame.
Yes. It's indeed.
And the target is not difficult, because the person who is in charge, in my opinion, is the person whom I am going to blame. Now, the point I've been trying to make all along is that when you are in a situation such as ours, okay, in this country, and that we have the reality that we have, it becomes imperative for the dominant narrative to be not of the people you refer to as the naysayers, but of yours.
Yes.
So that even as you're arguing against a narrative, but that narrative gained dominance, and it's what most people believe. To date, people tell you Shah is not working. So you ask, okay, it's not, Shah can't not work.
Yes.
Because the Shah is the authority.
Yes.
Under the authority, you have these schemes.
Correct.
So which scheme are you referring to?
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
That there are three schemes has to be spoken of over and over and over again. For the longest time, it's a discussion that I've heard.
And CT, I'm realizing this conversation 2 days ago, somebody, a family member of the person now telling the story, a family member was telling me, people have become very bad liars. I wonder why. He said, my brother the other day was saying how this government, that healthcare system is bogus and is not working. And so he went ahead to ask him, so did you ever register? Why would you beat a system? I didn't even register. Only for him to realize that they went somewhere and the guy was talking about, I said, hey, by the way, it sorted me something. And then the brother was like, I thought you said you never registered. Only to realize that it's a conversation that he was carrying with other people. He is a registered
member.
And he has benefited from it.
And trying to rabble-rouse a conversation of how things are not working. So you find there's also the element of deceit. Which I've never said. I do not know why we do this, even though when you say something which is you're benefiting out of to really chastise or make government look bad, I don't know on what realm you're operating. I don't know whether it's the hate for government or hate
No.
for the leader.
It's a combination of the hate for that particular government, because they're always competitors in any political race. And then there are those who actually, the focus, their target is the president. So there is nothing that man will do right in their eyes.
Yeah.
I tend to agree.
There is nothing. It does not really matter.
City back in the day, how people won elections, I thought by now would have outgrown that pettiness. Was I give you, like they say, I give you your flowers. I give you not praise when I must or need to, but I give your due. I give you your due.
Yeah.
City, if you've done something good, I should not shy away from saying, by the way, you may not have had it, but on this one and this one and this one, you've gotten it. How our politics have changed, and brings back to what Moi, the late President Moi, used to tell us, maisha siasa mbaya, maisha mbaya. It's now actually, we are living in those times.
Yeah.
Because now I've seen a place where we get movie where even though you can tell that somebody from Okuru now has a place, a comfortable place, a house that they can own, you're still using that as politics to look at the nitty-gritties of that particular system that's not working. And based on that small thing, that's why I'm calling it the pettiness of things, you disregard everything that person has done. I thought our politics by now should have improved, because that's how many people used to use politics. You point out to what is not working, and you say this is the person to blame for it.
It has improved. Our politics actually has improved.
You think so?
I know so. What you're discussing is not something that has only happened to this president. It's something we do to all our presidents. Kibaki, who is praised for many things, when he halted new developments and said we need to consolidate and we need to organize, and in that time he organized the tax system and what have you, God alone knows how many toes he stepped on.
True.
He wasn't that popular even with some of the people who had supported him.
It's true. I agree.
And his position was actually under threat, not from the people who opposed him, but from the people who had actually supported him.
Correct.
Because they expected certain things to happen in a certain way, and Kibaki wasn't going to do what they expected.
And I think that's where we are today. That's where we are today, because if you look at some of the battles that we've had, I had people who never thought they would see coffee prices getting to where they are in the history of that business. From 50 shillings we've come to nearly 155 shillings. Same thing with tea, same thing with milk. But you have people who will never accept and say the president has done a good job, and probably that's not what he expects. All he said is, I will change, but I feel, CT, we've gotten to a point as a country where we should count our successes, and there are many. Where we've not been able to do better, we continue to improve, because I believe as a country the president does not owe us perfection. I honestly do. What he owes us is
something.
Yes,
there's a purpose.
There's a Sarah here who's saying, good morning, Buvi. Please ask him, that's now you, why he is referencing the previous government as if the president wasn't deputy president then.
Now
some of the things you've mentioned here.
No. That's one thing I've come to accept. And the strength of what a president is. When you hear somebody saying the buck stops with the president, that's the reality of things. The person who holds the pen of the presidency is one, and he will direct it the way he wants it to go. That is just the truth. Those are the facts. And I can guarantee you, CT, as long as we live and our governance continue to be the way it is, that truth will remain undeniable for the longest.
But he
You
was
can be
in cabinet
you can be.
for a very long time.
It doesn't matter.
He was there, and as DP,
it doesn't matter. I told you, the pen of the president signs the way. He says, "Is this direction?" That's the direction he will go. He can consult, but necessarily doesn't mean he will do what you
He
want.
has the last word.
yeah,
the back. So I understand what Sarah is saying. Very little. You can
So
consult.
what-
You can consult with the deputy president. You can consult with your cabinet. Matter of fact,
Right.
You can consult with your advisors. But at the end of the day, you will do what you want to do.
there's this narrative that he doesn't take advice, even
is-
from advisors.
That is not true. That is not true, because if you look at some of the areas that we've been able to bring ourselves out of, like the middlemen when it came to petroleum and petroleum products, the G2G, there's great advice that came from his economic council and so many others. And this is not something I'm saying. He has said it himself. So this, again, it's a very weak-weaved narrative that he does not take advice. If there's somebody who takes advice, then it's my president. This one is not being told. This one I have seen.
Gabriel, you know, when you are in the sort of economic turbulences that we have, we're essentially at war.
Of course.
There is a government that existed in the previous century who are best known for the atrocities they committed, the Nazi government under Hitler.
Yes.
But there's something they understood, that to win a war you need propaganda.
Yes.
Goebbels.
So he had a ministry.
A
Ministry.
ministry of propaganda.
Yes.
Joseph Goebbels is his name.
Everyone knows about it.
Yes.
That's your ministry.
We don't manufacture propaganda. That's the problem.
No. Propaganda should not sound as though it's a negative thing.
Yeah.
Developed countries that are progressive actually teach it as a subject,
Yes.
so that you actually study it. Why am I saying this? If you do not win that war,
Yes.
whatever you do will be reduced to zero.
Correct.
It will be known as nothing that has been done, and it will be attributed to somebody else. And it is you who has done it. The need to control the narrative. I'm repeating this.
Yes.
Because you see, like right now, the dominant narrative for a long time has been that of the Gen Zs and what
Yes.
they can do,
Yes.
and how they will change things.
Yes.
They could. But there's nothing that I've seen about the Gen Zs that convinces me that
will
they
change.
will be the agents of change
Yeah.
that people are looking for, because they actually haven't been tested.
Correct.
The test is coming
Yes.
in 2027.
Yes.
The test came, but we didn't see the test.
Yes.
Of the 8 million people who did not vote in the last election,
Correct.
the majority were these young people.
Yes.
Okay? So we have seen their willingness not to vote.
Yes.
I have not seen their willingness to vote.
Yes.
And it is not only that I've not seen their willingness to have IDs, to register,
Yeah.
to be in a position where they can bring about change. I haven't seen it.
Right.
And even when they do that, I'm still not convinced that they're going to be voting for the change people are expecting.
No.
They are Kenyans, and the likelihood of them being like other Kenyans is what seems in my mind to be preeminent.
Right.
I may be proved wrong, but again, I'm yet to see.
Correct.
Now, why am I saying this? When there are wins, the only thing that kills propaganda is evidenced progress.
Correct. Correct.
So that people say what they like, but you point and say, yes, that is what has been said, but there is this. Why don't you come and see it for yourselves?
You know, I had some former legislator, a lady from one of Nanyuki, those areas. Yesterday, she was talking about the affordable housing. And she was saying, oh, how come there's nobody from this region who's supplying the hardware? And I looked at, and just by listening to that whole debacle, I was left wondering, is it politics at play, or is it that people have chosen to remain ignorant? Because if you look at the number of people who are talking about affordable housing, people who are not in government, but people who said they were able to use their skill to make millions out of this great initiative by the president. Yet, you have somebody questioning it. You ask yourself, City, what or which truth, and let me use it very singularly, which truth are they waiting to hear? Because from Harambee to Mackenzie to Ruiru housing to the ones that were in Mukuru, I have met young Juakali men and women who are telling me the jobs that they supplied. Some in welding. They were given an entire project to supply chuma and chomele and
Fabricate the windows.
and the amount of money they've made. Serious money. Nothing is coming out of Sijui here in Nairobi, and somebody has made it appear. And she went ahead to say it, that this is an enterprise of somebody and his cronies.
That's how we now boil down to what CT had said. How comes
Yet
your office is not coming out to
No.
say these things?
We've regurgitated that truth. The ministry has talked about it. The PES housing has talked about it. The young men and women in Juakali, they still talk about it today. Matter of fact, they asked the president, sasa rais tukimaliza hii mpango ingine iko wapi? Because after this we want to go somewhere else. So I think where I'm agreeing with you, CT, is that the war on propaganda, exercised carefully, will indeed throw many people out of balance. Because here you'll start questioning the reality. Even though you are somebody who is probably well educated, and you can get these facts. Some can even get all they want to know by one phone call. Just calling one person. They can get all that information. But that's not what they want. They want to use that as political mileage. And that's why I'm saying, CT, I thought we had graduated from politics, because our yesteryear politics were.
But why did you
I
think that,
point out?
Gabriel?
Yeah, I point out at something that's not working. Disregarding what is working.
Yeah.
And then I look at it and tell you, you know what? The president is to blame for it. That's what I thought our politics were back then.
But what
and
led you-
they've been graduated. But
Gabriel, what made you think that way? What made you think we had graduated? We are the same people. When have we stopped being Kenyans?
Because your office was created for this very purpose. Sababu Paul Mungala Mbuvi as a politician, of course I'll want to shine. And I'll come and say, you see, this thing that is happening over here, people wanna kula pesa yenu.
no, let me tell you something, guys.
Yeah.
This one, I think CT may actually be the person. I know you probably had lived this. You may have seen it actually. Mbuvi, there was a time these two great leaders were on a campaign trail. And these two great leaders I'm talking about was Senator John McCain, the late, the Maverick, and the then Senator Barack Obama. And in one of the town hall meetings, Senator McCain was having an amazing town hall. And at that time they are neck to neck.
Yeah.
Campaigns are heated up. This woman, and it's in the YouTubes, I think, one of these fine days you can look for it. And this woman stands up and says something very demeaning about Barack Obama, him being a Muslim, that name. You remember? John McCain
Is that all right?
reaches to the microphone and told that woman, because I remember vividly, said, listen, myself and Barack Obama, we just have political differences, but he is a very decent man. He's not what you said he is. This is somebody who you are in hot contestant with. But he stands to prove a point to one of his constituents by saying, that man, I do not know him that way. I've known him. He's not what you've said he is. Our differences are politics, but we love this country dearly. That is the politics of maturity. NCT, that is what I thought would have graduated to.
Why?
But wait a minute. Albeit the fact that I may not see eye to eye with the president, this housing project is changing lives. This housing project is actually going to be something that the future generation of this country will be grateful for. It is an answer, it is a call to a problem that we may face if we don't rectify it now.
Okay.
You know,
Our universal health care is a step in the right direction, albeit the fact that he may not like the president.
You know, Gabriel,
Yeah.
the question that you told me some artisans asked
Yeah.
is pertinent. After this, what? The after this, what has always existed.
Yes.
People live in estates and they don't understand that those estates were built because there was a plan to build them.
Correct.
When you hear of Onyonka,
Yes.
when you hear of Ayany,
Kariako.
there was a plan.
Yes.
The government had a parastatal that dealt with those things. There was a plan. And it worked. And it looked at the needs and it worked. That's why you had Kanjo houses.
Yes. Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Parastatals also owned houses. All these things were a reality until structural adjustment came into being. And it messed this thing up completely. Because we were advised
Yes.
by these Bretton Woods institutions to sell off those things. Some really hackneyed thinking that somehow that would help solve the problems. It did not.
Wow.
Parastatal poster had houses. These parastatals, those were
Actually,
assets.
yes. I usually people tell me Kenya Railways had houses,
And they're still there.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Kenya Railway.
Kenya Power and Lightning.
Yes.
Even
yes.
KBC had staff houses.
Everybody. They were sold. It opened a Pandora's box that we have not recovered from since.
Wow.
Because we had the green light to sell. They were allocated, people sold.
So even the universities, the houses they had lecture quarters and things like that.
Everybody had houses, and for a very good reason. All right? But because National Housing built houses in areas where there were large populations, they also built upscale houses. I remember for the council employees, senior council officers would actually could own a house because it would be built and you'd be given first options. So when you talk about the policy, this housing that we're talking about, affordable housing, I have to ask the question that those artisans asked has to be asked. What is the policy and how are we going to move forward with this idea? Because you've built those, sawa, you're building them, we've understood.
Yes.
But there has to be a policy for a continuation of the same, and who is going to oversight it.
Correct.
That is one. We were talking in an earlier hour about the governors and my views of them, and I explained what I thought. This isn't something that is new, and neither am I inventing it. The idea is born out of what I saw with the East African community when it worked.
Yeah.
Ports and harbors, as it was called, East African Railways and Harbors, was in Mombasa. East African Airways had a headquarters elsewhere. Posta had a headquarters in Kampala.
Yes.
East Africa universities had a headquarters in Dar es Salaam. Yes, they were regional. So Nairobi University, the Royal Technical College it was called, was part of the University of East Africa. That regional development and that regional cohesion that we now see the European Union fostering, we got there before them. Long before them.
Yeah, the East African community.
We got there even our currency was unitary. The shilling, you just carried the Kenyan shilling to Uganda and spent it. You carried the Kenyan shilling to Tanzania and spent it, and vice versa. As a child, I could see these coins. Somebody who had gone abroad. There was no issue. What am I trying to say?
Yeah.
I'm trying to say that there's a certain clarity that has to exist with these plans, so that one knows that beyond this, the bigger plan is this. And this is what we've started with. And from here, this is where we are going to go to. So that one can see the roadmap.
Yeah.
And when your office, the Department of Propaganda, when you guys come in to explain, you will be saying, the master plan is this. We are now here.
Yes.
And we are planning to move here and here and here.
Yes.
And it is documented. And social media will talk about it. So when someone comes and says what they say, you ask them, Chief,
Yeah.
let me refer you to something that might help you.
Yeah.
And you make the reference. But so long as some of those things have a gap, the government will continue being hit.
Yes.
Because the dominant narrative is that this government does nothing.
Nothing. Correct. And going by just some of the conversations that we've been having now, we've moved from the I think, CT, to be honest, we've moved from the narrative of is doing nothing to explaining what this is. For instance, you now can't hide housing. It's no longer the case of we are in the process. We want. You now can't hide SHA. You cannot hide the mere fact that we've gotten it right on food production. You cannot hide the fact of we are back with onto fixing and building our roads. You cannot hide back to some of the interventions that have been done. I mean, look at Harambee stars where they are. Somebody will talk about the incentives of money. But again, I started by telling you, success does not wake up. Success is built. This is the work of success. Because somebody rose to say, we are going to bid for Chan and buy all means necessary. Our infrastructure is going to be ready. That to me is success, and you can't hide it. So all things that you're saying, it's a domino
Gabriel,
of somebody curating attributes of development, and now we are starting to see the results.
You're going to say,
which,
Gabriel, that you are here prosecuting that issue, and I would agree with you. You are. I don't like apportioning blame because I do not see what it achieves.
Yes.
But the truth is this. Many Kenyans are in pain.
Yes.
Many do not know where their next meal is going to come from. Many are not sure their children are going to go to school. These are really basic problems.
True.
And all these projects that we speak of are wonderful, but they must work in tandem with these basic things.
Yes.
You don't stop one to do the other.
Yes.
You find a way of making it work.
Correct.
Making education work.
Yes.
Making the healthcare work. These things may be devolved, but the national government still has a huge say on how it is that these things get
in
done.
fact, City, we are talking about, we are more or less saying the same thing, because if you look at the roadmap of where we started with food being the key conversation in every household, as we sit here today, food items have really gone down. Yeah. And again, this is not something that just happened. There are interventions that led to that. Fuel prices, you can't compare where they were back then.
I can compare, Gabriel.
No.
Wait.
Buvi.
Where una fueling you happy?
I was also fueling back in the day as I am today, and I can tell you the difference is major and huge. And I'm not even talking about the issues that happen, or that I'm not talking about the politics of outside our region, where our oil prices are affected, and some of the logistics. No,
we have 30 seconds, by the way.
But apples to apples,
we
are way much better than where we are, than where we were. That's the truth, CT. That
if
is
people
just the
believe
truth.
they are not better, you can say all you like.
It is a belief, but it's not true. Same way somebody will tell me, nyinyi siku hizi chakula bei yake ni, that's talk. But when you look
We
at
really
what
have to
unga
go.
was and what unga is today,
Yes.
the difference is huge, you know.
Gabriel, I'm
and
so
we
sorry.
have to agree to some of these things. Yes, albeit the fact that there's a lot of misinformation and propaganda.
Yeah.
The truth will always remain that we are better off than where we were.
Thank you so much for coming through.
Anytime, and I'm coming
Nilikuwa na
back next
maswali
week.
mingi, ukuja hapa next week niko na maswali. Zile pikipiki zilipeana sweta zilifikia wenyewe?
Zilifikia wenyewe na watu wache propaganda. By the way,
Aye.
that's very bad propaganda. I had some anyway, wacha
It's okay.
Zilifikia wenyewe.
All right, thank you so
You know,
much.
I actually found
Gabriel.
them. No, zilifikia
Gabriel,
wenyewe.
thank you so much. We shall definitely have this conversation again and again. We welcome you to Radio Generation and start having weekly statements. So,
I am going to be a permanent fixture here.
karibu sana.
All right.